to be fair, for the sake of documentation, I just want to like point out what 3858 magnets times 5 devices is, and it's 19,290. Interesting. Anyway, yeah. So 1920 is, to me, or 19,290 is 1929. Let's go with a slash through it, maybe. Let's say the 10th month of 1929. Now, if you draw 19,290 like a V, you can see that the seam would be a 0, 1, 2, and there's 2 9s. Remember, I keep saying the first, like, your proper order of number is like 1, 0, 8, 9, 2. It'll be like 1, 0, 18, right? Maybe like you have a 1 and you have an O. You know? Maybe this V depiction is the slash. So let's just correct that. And then you have an 18 made of 9s. And then a 2. Anyway, whatever. So 1929, 10th, and then you have a 1x5 made V and a 1x3 made V. So you have a V is 5 in Roman numerals, you have 2 V's. 2 V's are an X, which are 10. Okay? And that and this V right here has like a 2929, and there's your, you know, if you don't take that as the 10th month, then maybe, like, I don't know, 10. Anyway, October 29th, 1929 is the start of the Great Depression. It lasted 10 years because V and the V. The Great Depression would be totally the opposite of, let's say, I don't know, cellular energy. So, I just wanted to document this. That's all. I don't know. That's kind of cool. But, like, let's just hold on. Let's do that. Alright, so let's actually think about setting up a room to build this, or a floor plan, or like for the footprint. If you have a bicycle hooked up to an axle of one of these wheels of one of these 5 devices, and you can spin that as fast as you possibly can, which will be spinning around solenoids that you can break a 36 pole guy into 12 circuits of 3-phase. And if you have 3 wheels on the faces, that means that 3 wheels worth of 12 circuits or 36 circuits should be powered at what I believe to be, if it's working, 219 volts. Okay? That's what math tells me. So, if this is spinning and you are applying the work, who's to say that once you reach a certain equilibrium or whatever maximum that you can do to provide work to it, let's just say that'll be an infinite source of energy. Spin that one wheel that goes around 3 36 pole solenoid rings, the 3 different wheels. 12 circuits, potentially each wheel for 36 circuits. Okay? Those have to go somewhere. And if you're providing infinite work over time, okay? Let's just say that wherever we're hooked up to with our bike will be this quadrant. It won't be here. This is something else. This shows us the pattern. But I think what it has to do is the work being provided from here eventually has to like make it back there and all that, but possibly has to go to feed 1, 2, 3 devices. Okay? From it, I believe it'll make enough feeds that'll have to feed a 5th device, which I believe will be located here in the room. Remember how I said that this had to be filled with water? And every one of them had to be a fishbowl, and that'd be very hard to do and keep water in there, and it's all a bunch of ridiculous nonsense. I'll agree with you. But you have to believe another amount of ridiculous nonsense. This is where I think the water comes in. It's water doped with things. You literally think I'm gonna take blood, sweat, and tears, mother's milk, and semen, and that's where all of life is going to be spawned from. No, there's going to be water in there, guy. So we have a device here which powers these three, which eventually power this guy. Let's start looking a little closer. Okay, well, that's where the seed is, the 1x2, and it falls beside it. Anyway, what am I trying to get at here? Yeah. This is the new location, I believe, in the room. Alright, these are plants and this is fungus. Plants and fungus. Come from someplace. Imagine that in the floor plan or blueprint or footprint. Blue foot plan of the room. All you have is like a fishbowl of water doped with the mother's milk, blood, sweat, and tears. So again, mother's milk is a female trait. These little fishies are a male trait. And we all have blood, sweat, and tears. So if we were to take, let's say, a male and female blood, sweat, and tears, and then male and female things, as the mother and father of New Earth, and you were to mix it in water, imagine all these were spinning eventually over time. Because if you have a feedback loop, whatever you create doesn't get, wasted in friction, which hopefully you make more. Anyways, you're going to overcome friction eventually, let's just say over time. And once you overcome friction over time based on the feedback of the yet to be laid out, fully completed circuit diagram, all the wheels are spinning, and maybe all 5 devices will be spinning rather quickly. And imagine if you had a singularity, like literally you had a fishbowl on like a trolley and you moved it around, and you had a bunch of bubbles kind of like just like forming in a fishbowl like out of nowhere, and you moved the fishbowl around but the singularity didn't move. And it eventually got bigger, and maybe that's what like 5D Earth means. Like, that's a leap of faith. To apply infinite work to one, to somehow wire it in a way to power 3 other devices, which then lead to power the 5th, which feeds back to the beginning, maybe by having literally a fishbowl. Now you're going to have like literally a glass bowl of water, doped, blood, sweat, and tears, mother's milk, and semen from a male and a female in a room. Nothing else going on except for having one piece of metal put in with one wire coming off of it. And that wire is going to go feed one of the circuits back in your initial device. And if you're able to, like, basically rip space-time, I'd say. Like, what's more feasible? Having, like, 5 of these with, like, reservoirs of water? And, like, it doesn't make sense, 5D Earth. 5D Earth doesn't make sense if it's 5 different bubbles. There's got to be one bubble formed when 5 are working. I'm starting, like, is there any movies where, like, bubbles form? Are there, like, science fiction things where, like, bubbles are used for, like, space travel or time travel or anything? I would hope so. But, one, and then this is all probably laid out in the way, the path and everything, because we're talking about kind of like a layout of the room or something. You gotta follow pi. That's just the way it is. It's as easy as this. I know, I've seen a lot of people fuck up pies, but, so I've been quite good. Layers, again, it's all about understanding the depth. Yeah, whatever. Okay? Dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 9x9. Okay? It's showing you that a 1x1. It's showing you that in a 2x2 you have a 1x1 and a 2x2, but really 1 to power 3 to make a new 1. And then you have a 1, a 1x4, and a 1x9. And on to the hypercube. You gotta look at this like this. That's all I'm saying. Maybe if I were to put this as a background. Tangerine Dream. Force Majeure. You know, the Force guy. Okay, there's a resolution. It's like kind of like your seconds and minutes and hours and days. Weeks. Months. Seasons. Years. Leap years. Decades. Centuries. Millennial. Anyway, 3858, 3858, 7716. Yeah. Bigger numbers. I don't know. think I gotta lay it all out. Like, I gotta literally do a wiring diagram of every node. Like, it's gonna be 50, again, 3858, right? But like 58 wheels per device. There are 5 devices. It's interesting. It's 290 wheels. 290 wheels. Right here? Alright. I don't know. That's what, 58 wheels. Yeah, 290. 290 times 12. So many circuits, guy. Now that's how low it could be. If it's 36 pole ring solenoids, you can have 12 circuits maximum, or it can all be one circuit. And then you get back to 290. But 3480, eh? If it's circled, and a 0 is a 1, so if this point and this point become the same point, it becomes an 8. We have an 8, 8, circled 4, and a 3 for 38, 58. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of circuits. This could be how many words there are on the first page of the Bible. That would be worth looking into. I got a little overzealous. So 3480 is like the total. I started counting like all the characters and all the spaces in the first, second, third, and fourth lines of the Bible. It seems like a lot of work, so let's be smart, okay? There are 116 useful lines on the first page of the Bible, okay? These are circuits. Okay. Make me do long division. It's 3, 4. $3,480 circuits divided into 116 useful lines comes exactly to 30. And 30 is perfection. Maybe it's like a 3 and a 2. But you know there's 5 things, and 3 times 5 is 160. Hmm. 30, so 30 words per line. 30 characters, perhaps, per line? Maybe. Now remember, there's 126 lines total on the first page, which means there's an additional 10 lines to account for. 13 with bubbles, guy. 40.